Good morning, guys! Before we start our research project, we need to learn a new word and what it means. Can anyone guess what plagiarism means? Those are some good guesses. Plagiarism is a blanket term for several different but similar things. It is stealing ideas and trying to pass them off as your own, using information without giving credit to where it came from, committing literary theft, and presenting something as original without crediting where it came from. Today we're going to focus on using information without giving credit to where it came from because this is the most relevant to our research project. Why do you think it's important in terms of doing research? Think about it this way. No one knows everything. However, we often, as we grow up, become experts in different fields and share our discoveries with others. Where do we find this information? I'll give you a hint. We're about to do our research project in the library. That's a good place to find information. We find it in books, educational videos, our reference materials, and online. Though this is a new word to you, it will be something you hear about for the rest of your time as a student, and, depending on your job, even beyond that. Plagiarism is a big deal. It's important because it is stealing, and we all know stealing is wrong. Wouldn't you be upset if someone stole your research paper and turned it in as if it was theirs? It's also important because doing something like that could mean getting a 0 as a grade. Students who plagiarize in college can get expelled. Does anyone know what that means? It means getting kicked out. And it's important because plagiarism is against the law. Did you notice anything about this list? Thumbs down if you think the consequences of plagiarism get worse as you go down the list. And thumbs up if you think the consequences lessen or get easier. Thumbs down, everyone. The consequences do get worse because plagiarism is not good. While plagiarism is very serious, I want you all to know that we are just learning about it for the first time, so the consequences won't be getting expelled. We're practicing so that when we are older and the consequences are worse than losing some points on your project, you will know how to avoid plagiarism. The good news is that it is very easy not to plagiarize. Right now, there are only 3 things you need to do to not plagiarize something. Number 1, make sure that you put any information you copy word for word into quotation marks. Number 2, give credit even when you write the information in your own words. This is called a summary. Number 3, always say where you got the quote or summary by making a list of your sources in a bibliography at the end of your paper. And that's it. If you copy it, put quotes around it and write the author and where you got it from in your bibliography. If you summarize the information by putting it in your own words, put the author's name and where you found the information on your bibliography. Bibliography is a long word. Let's say it together. Bibliography. All it means is a list of sources. Now, knowing how easy it is to avoid plagiarism, isn't it silly that students get kicked out of college every year for ignoring these 3 simple things to avoid plagiarism? With your research report, you will get this checklist to help remind you what we learned about today. Always make sure that if you are going to use it for your report, meaning you copy or summarize a fact that you find, that you write down the author's name and where you found that information. If it's a book, that's the title. Next class, we will discuss what to do for an online source. Today, I want us to remember that plagiarism is stealing and that we need to give credit to the people who originally wrote down the information that we use. If you copy something, use quotation marks to show that they are not your own words, but someone else's. With quotes and summaries, write down the author and where you got the information on your bibliography. And, as always, if you aren't sure or need help, ask! This is a new important thing we've learned about today. It's okay if you have questions. Are there any questions now? If you do have questions later, always feel free to ask at any time.